Good morning, everyone. It is the start of the week again. Today is Monday, May 15th, 2023. How was everybody's weekend? How was everybody's weekend? And we just want to say thank you for tuning in live with us on News in Motion. Or if you're catching the replay, whether it's in the afternoon, the evening, or near the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for tuning in on all the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, our audio and podcast listeners. Thank you for turning those dials to Hot 97 as you're heading into the workplace, dropping the kiddos off at school, going to the grocery store, or picking up your coffee from Starbucks. Whatever you're doing, we just want to say thank you for tuning in. Also want to give a quick prayers to all of those who are dealing with the allergy season. This allergy season is no joke, y'all. This pollen is kicking. Some of us are sleeping with some sinus infections. So we're praying for those who are dealing with the allergy season right now. If you're dealing with some pollen, or someone who's dealing with some pollen, and just send them some Claritin, some Tylenol, and a glass of water. They'll be right as rain. But with that being said, we have a show for you today. We have Kenny Stanley coming in with Game Over, talking about the NBA playoffs, who got eliminated, who is still in the race, and of course we have Miss Gail Dudley coming in to talk about some important news. I see y'all coming in. Y'all ready? So you know what we do. Let's get this news in motion.
What's up, everyone? What's up? This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. I just love Isaiah. I just absolutely love him. I see Lori Wallace in here, and I got something to say about her in a few moments. I see Marion Jackson in here. Shirley Nicholson is in here. Robert Holman, Camille Jones, Kim Edmondson, Deborah Johnson, Stephanie Burbridge Hall is in the house. Let me see. Adrian is also in the house. I'm sure there's more of you that are coming in. I'm trying to grab you as soon as I can. And y'all, I got a really nice little email the other day saying, hey, you haven't been mentioning the podcast people. So I want to shout out all the podcast listeners. I know you're in here. I know you're following us. I know you're tuning in. Forgive me for that oversight. I see Yvonne coming in here. Yellow Pollen is crazy, Kim Edmondson. Kenny Stanley's also in the green room. Dr. Antoinette, good morning. Tracy Burrs, good morning. Good morning. Y'all live over there on YouTube, but you're also live over here on Facebook as well. I see y'all coming in on different platforms, and that is good. So y'all, today is Monday. It is Monday, May 15, 2023. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Welcome everyone who is tuning in live. And if you're happening to watch catch the replay, whether it's on the podcast or on YouTube, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to spend a portion of your day with you. Y'all, we have a lot of news. So I'm going to do what I can to pack it all in here, and then also to hear from Kenny Stanley as well. Y'all, the newsletter, if you are a subscriber to the newsletter, for some reason, it released this morning at 1 a.m. I don't know why, but it released at 1 a.m. But it is there, so check it out. Included in this issue, you will find patient rights. And I give a story with the permission of my mother of something that happened this weekend. And for all of you who were praying for me this weekend, I'm just wanting to say thank you. Jacqueline, I see you coming in. What's up, Cherie? I see you coming up in here as well. But listen, y'all, this weekend, those of you who were praying for me as I was at the rehab center, trying to navigate some things and keep my peace. That story is in that newsletter as well. So make sure you register, sign up for that. You can go to gaildudley.com to register for that. Yeah, our graduation shout outs. And I see Marion Jackson on here. Congratulations to Marion Jackson's son, Josiah Jackson, who will be graduating from Elyria High School on May the 23rd. Now, she shares with us that he was supposed to have graduated in 2022, but due to some health issues in school last year, he kind of fell behind and he wasn't able to graduate. So, this is going to be a double celebration this year. He went back this year and he will graduate. And Marion says that she thanks God that Josiah is graduating. We give you a shout out, being Mama Marion, to do what you needed to do and to hold all that and to pray him through. And we just want to shout you out, Josiah, this morning. Job well done. Job well done. That's what you do. You get up and you keep going. I love it. I see you, Regina, coming in here. Y'all, speaking of graduations, I actually called my daughter this weekend. I said, wait, what? I said, President Joe Biden gave the commencement address at Howard University, class of 2023. She said, yep. I said, all right, Joe. Joe already on the campaign trail. Y'all doing whatever he needs to do. Now, Joe, that's cool that you were there. And I said, congratulations. You know, no problem. I got it. My daughter had on her graduation our forever president, Barack Obama, for her commencement speaker. So I'm going to give you kudos here. But I'm going to need you to back that up with some voting rights, something like that. Can we get that like real soon? We would appreciate it. Y'all, shout out to our very own Isaiah. Yeah, I got to get some shout outs this morning before we keep going. Shout out to our very own Isaiah. I see you, David. I miss you. Y'all, Isaiah, y'all know he had his final exams last week on Thursday, right after the show. Y'all, Isaiah scored 500 out of 500. He aced that, baby. We prayed for him before we came on the show. I know many of y'all prayed for him. So y'all, shout out to Isaiah for scoring straight A on that final exam. Also, y'all, he has an opportunity. He's been invited on this coming Wednesday at 3:30. He gave me permission to share all this with y'all. And he's my nephew. I'm excited for him anyway. Y'all, he will be presenting before City Council in Columbus, Ohio, a bill for filmmakers. So y'all, look at what the Lord is doing with and through Isaiah. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Y'all, next up, I got to get all the shout outs here this morning. Anita Dawson, y'all know she's in here when she can jump on here. She was the Mother's Day speaker at her church, which is Rhema, and on Saturday service as well as Sunday service. And I snuck in to hear her, and that message was fire. It was straight fire. So shout out to her. And then y'all, I gotta talk about our girl. Man, listen, Evolve Productions. I went Saturday matinee. In between fighting for my mom and her rights at the rehab center. Y'all, Fluidity, the water of life, phenomenal. Now, where I was sitting, Lori was sitting up by the booth, you know, directing everything, and I turned around in the middle of the show. Now they were doing their thing, and I was at one point like in tears, like, oh my gosh, this is Lori Wallace. So I turned around, I said, "Come here, girl." I said, "You did all this?" She was like, "Yes." I said, I knew that you were amazing. I knew you were outstanding, but this is just straight brilliance. I said, now this is great. I love it. But what do we do to get you in France and the UK? And I'm just sitting there just seeing how her red carpet and her star on Hollywood is coming. Y'all, don't sleep on Lori. Don't sleep on Lori. Not at all, y'all. It was absolutely brilliant. I mean, y'all, HBO level, BBC, ABC, NBC, Hulu, Netflix, whatever. She needs to have an ongoing, regular Broadway play in New York. And I'm not just saying this, it was absolutely phenomenal. So, job well done to you, Lori. I mean, wow, I knew you were great. Girl, you beyond great. I don't even have a word to describe it. I've been talking about it ever since. So, and I needed that to get back to the rehab center. So, amazing. I see you, Jeffrey Allen James. Amazing. Y'all, and then Mother's Day, what did I do? I was on the sofa binge watching Queen Charlotte. I had no idea that Queen Charlotte was going to give me what Queen Charlotte gave me. And y'all, this is all news, and I'm going to put this out here. I'm not getting any affiliate money from Netflix, but you have to watch Queen Charlotte. I was sharing on my Facebook page my post. I said, "Why am I crying?" I was boo-hooing, but talking about protection of your spouse, just not being distracted by the naysayers, um, not leaving a marriage. I mean, just so much. And I don't want to tell the story because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But that was brilliant. So Chandra Rhimes, absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Before we get to Kenny, real quick, I want to kick off with the AP reporting. The AP reports migrants rushed on Thursday to enter the U.S. before the pandemic related asylum restrictions lifted at midnight as the end of Title 42. Well, while Title 42 prevented many from seeking asylum, it carried no legal consequences, encouraging repeat attempts. After Thursday, migrants face being barred from entering the U.S. for 5 years and possible criminal persecution. Now, what's important is over the weekend, a new report came out that talked about the U.S. border crossings are now down after Title 42 expired. The number of crossings along the U.S. southern border dropped 50% since the pandemic related asylum restrictions, which expired on Thursday. Now, that is absolutely contradicting earlier fears and that propaganda spin that has been out there. Y'all, it dropped. It did not surge, it dropped. The debt ceiling talks will resume today. President Biden and GOP leaders will continue negotiations on raising the debt ceiling starting today. They want to try to get something done by Wednesday. Biden said that the talks were moving along. Some of the Democrat people pushed back on his word, saying it was moving along, saying that he better not settle. And I agree with them. He best not settle. Is the reason why there's gridlock in the House is because that small margin of majority and minority, the Democrats and the Republicans. So y'all, they need to really pay attention because I shared with you the past 2 weeks who is really going to hit, who's going to hit hard. With that, when I come back, y'all, I hope y'all are paying attention. I have a lot more news to give you, but I got to put Kenny in here because Kenny has other responsibilities as well. But he's going to come on in here and talk about the NBA. He's not going to do an intro today, but come on in here, Kenny, so we can see you and talk about this NBA because, you know, the excitement is the excitement. I know my son is excited with the Lakers, but
Oh
hey.
yeah. Hey, hey, the NBA is fantastic. It's
It is
fantastic.
fantastic. And you called it. You
It,
called it. You
I
said that
said
the
the
Lakers
Lakers in
was going to
six.
take it in six. You
The
said that
Lakers
from
in
the
six.
beginning. I was like, okay, Kenny's on to something. I'm going to let you take over, Kenny. I know you have to run. And then, y'all, I'll be back with some news. And again, you want to pay attention when I come back because I think many of us are going to go, wow. All right, Kenny, take it over.
All right, News and Motion family. I'm upset this morning. I'm letting y'all know that now. I'm very, very upset. My 76ers didn't even show up to the game yesterday. I don't know what that was or who that was on the court, but they didn't even show up in Boston. Uh, Boston walked right over the Philadelphia 76ers yesterday, 112-88. And now they will face the Miami Heat to see who's going to go to the finals. But the Celtics was led by uh, Jason Tatum, who dropped 51 points and grabbed 13 rebounds. Let me tell you something. Jason Tatum went all the way in yesterday. And hey, after halftime, it was really no game. It was no game. Boston went on a 33-10 run, and that was just pitiful. I don't know where Philadelphia was at, what they were thinking after halftime, because it was a good game up till the end. I don't know what they was thinking after halftime. I think they went in and went to sleep at halftime. That's what happened. The league MVP, Joel Embiid, he pulled a disappearing act better than Houdini. I mean, he scored 15 points and only had 8 rebounds. And I don't even want to talk about James Harden. He's supposed to be the man. And James Harden, this the all-star himself, played 41 minutes and only scored 9 points. Come on, man. Come on. What is this? What is this? I hate to say it. Doc Rivers may be gone as the coach. He may be gone. Hey, we just have to wait and see. So now the Western Conference and Eastern Conference finals are now set. Tomorrow night at 8:30 on ESPN, you're going to have the Los Angeles Lakers headed to Denver to take on the Denver Nuggets. That game will be on ESPN. That's game one. I'm going to make a prediction now. If the Lakers steal either one of these games in Denver, Denver's in trouble. I'm letting you know that now. The Lakers will be in the finals. On Wednesday night on TNT, Miami will be in Boston. This one here may go all seven because both these teams are matched up. I can't wait to see what goes on with the rest of these playoffs because they balling right now. I got a question for y'all, and I'm going to talk about it more on Saturday about wasted opportunity and doing the wrong thing. But can somebody please tell me what's wrong with Ja Morant? Please tell me what's wrong with Ja Morant. I told y'all a couple of weeks ago the Memphis Grizzlies' problem was bigger than Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks was made the scapegoat when they said they was not bringing him back, no way, no how. But Ja Morant yesterday, guess what he did? Another video came out with Ja Morant brandishing another gun on a video. Come on, Ja. Now he's suspended from all team activities, and I'm quite sure the NBA is going to lay the hammer down on him this time because it was just 2 months ago that he served an 8-game suspension, which was really 2 games because they retroed it back, so he really only suspended 2 games. But I'm quite sure they're going to drop the hammer this time. Ja, you got to get it together, man, or you're going to even find yourself out of the league, and that's a wasted opportunity. You are a very talented young man, but you're getting ready to waste this opportunity. Hey, that's sports today. I can't wait to Thursday to give y'all some of these scores that's coming out tomorrow and on Wednesday. So I'm going to see y'all Thursday. And like I said, Saturday, we're going to talk more about wasted opportunity that Ja Morant is doing and other athletes have done. We're going to get back to Gail for more news. I see y'all. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you so much for that, Kenny. I appreciate you and your time. And your show is doing great on Saturday as well. So I
Thank
wanted to
you.
give you a shout out for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. You have a great day. We'll see
Have
you
a
on
good one. See
Thursday.
y'all.
And y'all don't forget tonight, 5:30, is Deborah Johnson with Right from the Heart. So make sure you check her out as well as 5 o'clock today, Right from the Heart. Thank you for that. All right, y'all. On May the 2nd, let's get serious. Well, we're serious already. But on May the 2nd, I reported right here on News in Motion the following. I said that The Verge reported that Godfrey Hinton, previous winner of the top prize for computer scientist and pioneer in AI, that he had left Google to warn about the pace of the AI adoption. I also shared on May the 2nd that New Guards Tech reported that they found almost 50 digital news outlets, almost entirely written by AI. In that same reporting, I shared with you that there seems to be typical news websites, and those websites which often fail to disclose ownership or control, which is a big problem, and that they produced high volume of content related to a variety of topics, including politics, health, entertainment, finance, and technology. Now, some of them publish hundreds of articles a day. The content advances false narratives. So I told you this on May the 2nd. I reported it right here on News in Motion. Now, a part of that advanced false narratives, nearly all of that content featured bland language and repetitive phrases, hallmarks of artificial intelligence. Yes, Anita, very concerning, very concerning. Today, I want to report an AP Associated Press kicked this off, and I did my own sample this weekend. I needed to make sure that I was able to communicate effectively what I was able to find. So follow along. I want to say this is no time to get lazy when it comes to voting, especially voting in news headlines. The headline read in Associated Press, AI presents political peril for 2024 with threat to mislead voters. The chatters out there, the CIA, intelligence, and everyone else is sending a warning now about AI. The story reads in the Associated Press, the implications for the 2024 campaigns and elections are as large as they are troubling. This is a direct quote. Generative AI can not only rapidly produce targeted campaign emails, texts, or videos, it also can be used to mislead voters, impersonate candidates, and undermine elections on a scale and at a speed not yet seen. Pause right there. There was some information on Twitter. A man was making a post. He had the image. I did not get rights to the image, so I can't share it. He had an image that his son came home from school, and the image showed a young Martin Luther King Jr. sitting beside Jay-Z at a concert. And his son, who I think he was either 4 or 5, must be 5 because he was in elementary school, 5 years old, said, "Look, Dad, Martin Luther King Jr. is at the concert." What? That's not true. So his dad took the time to say, now remember, we talked about this at home, and he gave a full report on that conversation. But y'all, that image looks so real and so right now, and it was produced by AI. So we got to start thinking about, what are we teaching? How are we teaching it? How are we making sure there's not misinformation or disinformation out there? But hold on. The implications for the 2024 campaigns, there's a warning by A.J. Nash, Vice President of Intelligence at the cybersecurity firm Zero Fox. He says, "We are not prepared for this." He goes on with this quote to say, "To me, the big leap forward is the audio and video capabilities that have emerged. When you can do that on a large scale and distribute it on social media platforms, well, it's going to have a major impact." He's not lying. He goes on to say in this article that AI experts can quickly rattle off the number of alarming scenarios in which I can't even get the word out now, that the AI is used to create synthetic media for the purposes of confusing voters, slandering a candidate, or even inciting violence. And this is now when all of that actually happened in 2016 as well. So again, I want to say this is not the time to be lazy. So here's my research. I did an article on patient rights. And if you received the newsletter, you'll see a portion of that there. For some reason, it went out at 1 a.m. But anyway, you'll see that out there. So I did a 2-page article that I'll also post to Medium sometime this week when I complete the entire article. So I went in because I wanted to learn this myself. I went in, and you had to create an account, which I hated it. But I created an account on one of the chat box sites, and I put my article in there. I put all the statistics, all the numbers, the percentages, the money that was spent, all of that. I put it all in there, and I hit create, and it created a piece. I went to 5 of our millennials, and I said, here's 2 articles. Tell me which one is mine. Now, a couple of people said, well, we know how you talk, so this one's yours. And they were correct. A couple others said, I'm not sure. And I said, why aren't you sure? They said, well, we started doing our research because they were working together. They said, we started doing our research and we did some fact checking. We're like, okay, this can't be Gail because the facts are off. They said, but it was believable. And they were correct. That was AI. Mine was the other. It was extremely scary because side by side, my research, the information, I double checked, triple checked, everything else, the numbers. Just a few sentences changed the entire numbers, the demographics, and everything else on AI. So I was able to see it for myself, how it can change the narrative and give false information, although you put in all the information. And I thought, this is crazy. So I did another article, just some statistics to put in there. The same thing. It changed the bottom line of what I was trying to say. I said, this is quite scary. So if people are not taking the time to do the research, they'll believe the information that was given to them. Yes, Dr. Angie Shannon, it's very concerning. It's very concerning. And so I came to this, and I want to share this as we're going into this 2020, and we're in it already. I know it's just May 2023, but we're already in it. We're going to have to be very mindful of the information we receive, what we share on social media, what we share one-on-one with people. We're going to have to do the research, but I get it. Many of you are saying, I don't have time for that. That's what I go to the news for. Then make sure you're following a credible source. But here's the problem, y'all. If they're already mimicking voices and already creating videos, and you're sitting there, you really won't know if, okay, is that really Rachel Maddow or is that an AI impersonator? You won't know. You won't know. It is that detailed, the creation that has been made with AI. So I started looking at different sources, and I still see that Ballotpedia has made a commitment. They're not going to use AI. I've seen where other platforms are saying we're not going to use AI. So those are going to be my go-to for vetting, to make sure that this information is correct. But I want to say this to all of you today. I cannot compete with AI. I can't. So I've been asking all weekend, all right, God, what am I to do? How do we move news and motion forward knowing we can't compete with AI? It took me for one article to research. It took me 3 days when before it may have taken me 4 to 5 hours. And then I massage it and I go another day with a couple hours and I massage it. And then I go another day and then I report it. Here, if it's going to take me 2, 3, 4 days, I can't even put the news out there the next day. It's going to take us longer. And I'm sitting back saying, I cannot compete with AI. I don't know what this is going to look like. But I'm here to tell you, Angie said, Mama, I'm following you. Look, and I want to be that source for you all. I want to do my due diligence. But along with that, understand, instead of getting 5 articles on a Monday, you may only get 1 or 2. Because I am not going to put information out here that's false. I can't do it. That's not my brand. That's not who I am. We've been doing this going on 3 years. Come next month, there's no way I'm going to compromise that. So, yeah, we're looking at how we're going to be able to stay in the game without compromising at all of what we're doing. Dr. Shannon says, critical thinking and reading will make a comeback. Very scary. Listen, and we have to make sure we're doing our part. We cannot be in such a rush that we're just taking it and going. You're going to have to check it out. You're going to have to check it out. Y'all, this couple already with disinformation and misinformation, this fight that we're already trying to put out there is going to make this very complicated, extremely complicated. So what I'll say here for our News in Motion family, be mindful not to quickly jump on a bandwagon and say, Joe Biden said this, and I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but I'm going to say this as well. Don't be quick to jump on the bandwagon and say, the former guy said this. We're going to have to slow down and take this by pieces to get an understanding of what's going on. Dr. Antoinette said, NIM is my source for political information. And I pray that it continues to be your source, but I have to be very transparent and say, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous because the statistics I gave you on May the 2nd and what I'm sharing with you now and what I was able to see with my own eyes, I had to dig for the truth. I mean, the truth is now buried and I'm digging. And so right now in digital platform and journalism and the society and press media, and we're trying to connect with each other and say, you're my contact, you're my source. We're going to work together. We need to double check this, fact check this. And hopefully these groups will come together that we're able to deliver you this type of information. This is very concerning. It's very concerning. And on top of that, what was reported this weekend, Fortune reports that Snapchat influencer, y'all get this, Kyron Marjorie made more than $71,000 in 1 week after releasing an AI version of herself. She's calling it Kyron AI, and charging fans $1 per minute to be their virtual girlfriend. Y'all heard that. This is directly from Fortune. And I went and I fact checked it. I went to her Snapchat. It is correct. As of last week, Kyron AI had more than 1,000 boyfriends. And these are paying subscribers. And Kyron Marjorie estimates she could eventually bring in $5 million a month from her chat box. Here's my first thought question. Who that hard up for an AI girlfriend? What is this really? Yes, Misha, this is madness. What is this really? You paying for a fake AI girlfriend? I don't care if it is $1. Why are you paying for that? What's really going on here, and why? So, that's her business. So I'm not going to hate on her business, but she made $71,000 in 1 week, and she believes she can eventually bring in $5 million a month from her chat box. What the what? Yeah, Deborah. What the what? Yes, Javon. That's just crazy. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Shannon. Virtual girlfriend. Yeah, that's a good question. Dr. Shannon is saying if you're not on Facebook in the chat, she's saying, are we that lonely? So if that can happen, imagine what's about to happen when it comes to these upcoming elections. Now, on top of that, Vice files for bankruptcy, and Vice is pretty on point with everything they're doing as well. The digital media, they're calling it a bloodbath, continues because the digital media, just to give y'all a place of where we are with News in Motion, not only are we fighting for space, we're fighting for an audience. And I'm using the word fighting loosely. We're fighting for an audience. We're fighting for the press releases. We're fighting to get into the green rooms. We're fighting to get to find out what the panelists are saying. We're fighting to get the report. We're fighting for something. We're fighting. And so what's happening, many of you are being faced with the paywalls for articles. Well, there's now starting to start paywalls for us to get in the room. Well, I'm not paying for that. Not doing it. I need to figure. That's why I'm saying I can't compete with AI. This is very interesting. So if those of us who are on these digital platforms, if we start backing away, and I'm not saying that's what's happening for News in Motion, but if we start backing away, where are you going to get your news from? At least where you're going to get facts with the backup, with connecting the dots. How are you going to get that? Where are you going to get that? So Vice Media filed for bankruptcy, a dramatic fall, what they call from grace, for a company that was once valued at $5.7 billion. They were once valued at $5.7 billion. A group of lenders could acquire Vice out of bankruptcy for $225 million. The New York Times is reporting, and the company will continue to produce content. Now, the company, the group of lenders who are talking about acquiring Vice are also some of the lenders who trust AI. So will Vice then switch to AI, and people who are unaware that they've been sold or whatever not know that now it's being ran by AI and not by the leaders of Vice? These are questions we need to ask. This is where we are, y'all. This is where we are. So not to give you this kind of news on a Monday, but I thought it was so important to let you know this is happening right now. So some of the ads that are out there, you now have to ask yourself, is this an AI ad? And one thing that the White House is trying to move is that the bottom, just like you have to say, this commercial was paid for by, that it needs to say something about this commercial was developed by AI. So people can have that distinction. But here it is, we have to be able to read that bottom. Okay, so there's a lot that's going as it continues to unfold. We're going to bring you this news right here on News in Motion as well. So with that, believe it or not, I'm going to give y'all an inspirational message. And that inspirational message is to remove the scales from your eyes. Remove the scales. We can no longer turn a blind eye to things. We have to really see. And so this inspirational message is this question that we need to begin to ask ourselves. And that is, what do I see? What do I see? What's really here? Am I making up any of this? Am I actually seeing it? What do I need to remove from my eyes so that I can honestly see what I'm seeing? What's up, Devontae? That I can honestly see that I'm seeing it. I'm not thinking it's there. It's really there. So what do you see? What do we see? What do I see? We have to remove the scales from our eyes to truly see what's there. I want to go back to Queen Charlotte for a moment. And the reason I got excited about that series, I had no idea it was going to be that sort of amazement. There were so many messages, and I'm going to say this without giving it away. There were so many messages to that. Number one, the interference of people to get you to believe something that's not really there. That was one. So again, what do I see? What do I see? Something else that I saw out of Queen Charlotte was blocking out the naysayers and asking the tough questions. Even when you don't want to have the answer, you do, but you don't. It's like, do I really want to know this? To ask the question to get the answer for yourself, to get the answers for yourself. That was in there. Something else that was in there I thought was so powerful is to remove all the labels, to remove all the titles. And y'all seen this already on platforms, so I'll say it, just George. That was so powerful. I'm just George. I am just George. The other thing that I saw, and this is all on the trailer, so I'm not going to mess that up either, is the wall. Are you going to climb out of your situation and go over the wall, or are you going to rest in your situation and get used to the situation and figure out how to work through the situation? What do you see? What's there? What's right before you? And how are you going to do this? Something else that was in Queen Charlotte that I just thought was phenomenal, that even your closest people could be a detriment to what it is you need to get done. What do you really see? Also, something that was in there, what lies are being told? So even around you, even your circle of influence, what lies are being told? What do you see? What do you see? How do you work through all the stuff and remove the scales from your eyes to actually see? Y'all, it was just a series, but that series said, God, he actually answered some of my prayers through that series. I know it doesn't make sense to you, but God can use a donkey. He can use a series. And I said, okay. So back to what I shared with y'all a couple of weeks ago, my prayer has been wisdom. I've asked God for wisdom. I asked God for discernment. I asked God for his strength, grace, mercy, and power, all of that. But the first three are wisdom, discernment, and understanding. And then the rest comes after that. So the wisdom to see the truth, the discernment to know the truth, and the understanding of the truth. What do you see? All right, y'all. This has been Gail Dudley and News in Motion. Y'all know what I say. Stay bold. Stay bold. Wow. Stay well, everyone. And remember to make some bold moves. Until tomorrow, we're out.